Foundations course is going to introduce you to all of the topics that you are going to cover in more depth throughout the program. So Foundations is going to give you a quick introduction to budgeting, to planning, to personnel, to technology. When I teach the Foundations course, I tell the students on the first night that I always think of the Foundations course as the icing on the cake, because we're going to cover a wide swath of areas, but we're going to do it very thinly. It's not going to be a real in-depth look at things. It's going to be a small look at things that you will get into in much more depth when you cover them in classes throughout the program. But I love to teach Foundations. I mean, first of all, who doesn't love the icing, right? That is always the best part of the cake. So I think a lot of students feel that way about Foundations because it is a quick look at what you're going to get into the program. It's a wonderful course to take in the beginning of your program. The other thing about Foundations that I enjoy, Foundations is going to introduce you to some of the theory, some of the history of public administration. You're going to learn about some of the theorists and some of the people who have come before you in public administration, who have worked as public servants in the public sector. And when you find yourself in your position, in your employment, facing a tough time, and we all do, whether it's a cutback or new duties that you're being asked to undertake, or if it's a time of a lot of political upheaval or some civil unrest, you're going to find yourself in your job in a time when you're struggling, you don't know what to do. And I like Foundation because Foundations reminds you that there are people who have come before you who have been in the same position. Maybe the time was different, but they were facing some of the same challenges. And you're going to know what they did. You're going to know how to research even more, the things that worked for them and the things that didn't work for them. And I always find knowing that people have been there before me and that have struggled through some of the things that I'm struggling with, and that they have ideas that have worked. I always find that very comforting, and I tell my students that this is a course that I hope will offer you some comfort when you find yourself in your job in a tough position.